Hello everyone, and welcome to the Player Review channel. In today's video, you'll learn about all the advantages of the first Team of the Season card released via SBC for 1 million coins. Is it worth the investment, or would it be better to spend your coins elsewhere? As always, we'll talk about alternatives and more. Stay tuned, it's going to be interesting. First of all, let's highlight that all Team of the Season cards come with a +5 league link, making them easy to connect. Now, Doue features an average body type, stands at 181 centimeters tall, and has a 5-star skill moves and 4 stars weak foot combination. For chemistry style, we recommend either basic or finisher. Additionally, you can use sniper for controlled lengthy acceleration. When it comes to play styles, we need to highlight finesse plus, incisive pass, golden first touch, and the speed talents. Desiree can operate as a playmaker or a half winger, but we would recommend using him on the wing as an inside forward or as a shadow striker in the cam position. Let's start with the fact that the Frenchman possesses excellent top-end pace, allowing him to often beat defenders to the ball and accelerate away with ease. It's also worth noting that his running animation is reminiscent of lengthy players. And by the way, regardless of the chemistry style, Doue runs very well, so you can choose any style without worry. Now let's take a look at his off-the-ball speed and decent tackling, which proves useful not just for a cam or a left midfielder, but even in a midfield trio. Another important strength is his first touch and speed talents. Take a look at this speed boost immediately after controlling the ball. Rapid allows him to break away confidently without looking back. Such acceleration makes the Frenchman very effective as a winger. Again, for this role, you need not only top-end pace but also explosive bursts. Moreover, you can deploy Desiree as a right cam if you want. However, we don't see much value in that, considering the lack of Trivela and only a 4 stars weak foot. Frankly speaking, the Frenchman is clearly missing a 5 stars on weak foot for consistent finesse shots from his left. Therefore, it's better to play him on the left side to maximize his right-footed shots. Speaking of his right foot, the shots are fantastic. Well, maybe not mind-blowing, but very close. Most importantly, they are consistent from around 25 meters or even slightly further. For example, there were a couple of genuinely long-range finesse goals. However, they're mostly consistent if you use precision shooting. If you rely on assisted shooting, try to get as close to the penalty area as possible and aim for a green timing. Interestingly, when playing cam, we often used a small trick: receiving the ball, shifting slightly, and speed boosting diagonally left into the half space, forcing the opponent to pull their center back, and then quickly turning and hitting a finesse shot with the right foot. Although if you watch the intro, you probably saw that rare left-footed finesse goal. Still, moments like that are rare. What truly stood out was the first touch and the smooth ball control animations before the shot. At this point, we need to discuss dribbling. Honestly, the left stick movement can feel a bit heavy at times, so it might be worth using the finisher style. In relatively responsive gameplay, everything works fine even with Hawk, although the clip you're seeing was recorded with basic, and as you can see, the animation speed is quite sharp. Also, let's not forget about his powerful running animations, allowing him to beat defenders to the ball during long balls and not only. Thus, Doue plays more like a power striker rather than a lightweight one. Which leads us to a point: you should integrate more skill moves into your game, although we do miss Trickster badly. At the same time, his dense body type allows him to bump into defenders, win the ball, and immediately start a counterattack. His physicality also helps a lot in the attacking third. For example, in this duel against Theo Hernandez, where he managed to shield the ball and continue the attack. Too bad his left-footed finesse let him down again. Regarding the penalty box, the 4 stars weak foot will still be noticeable there. Even more so, the lack of a low-driven shot talent will hurt, especially if you're already used to it inside the box. Honestly, it's a bit strange that Desiree didn't receive at least a silver trait. It's really missing. Therefore, when sending the Frenchman through on goal, it's better to rely on either finesse or a strong regular shot. And as you can see, it even goes in with a red timing. Overall, the ideal role for him would be a shadow striker at cam. Firstly, you can often launch him with long balls where his pace becomes critical. Secondly, he times his runs into the box very well too. Plus, for a cam, having at least a basic incisive pass is crucial. Of course, a golden talent would be even better, but near max passing stats make up for it. Another important detail is how fast he performs those passes, like in this example. Although, to be fair, gameplay responsiveness has a big influence here. By the way, if you're not using quick incisive passes yet, you should definitely add it to your arsenal. Just make sure to launch the player with L1 before the pass. Right now, everyone plays with high defensive lines, making it much easier to break through with a simple one-touch pass after an L1 trigger. perfect for cams. As you know, in EAFC 25, the rewards for the Weekend League are awesome, which means that the game has become much harder to play. Our boosters will help you to get the best rewards. Write in, because the number of spots is limited. And don't forget that we also sell coins at a cheap price. All links in the description. Alright, let's summarize. Desiree has a brilliant card with explosive speed boost, great distance speed, a strong frame, and killer finesse shots with his right. Plus, excellent linkability due to the +5 league bonus. On the downside, weak foot limitations, no trickster, and missing low-driven shot. Trickster would have made his finesse cuts even better, and a low-driven shot could have partly compensated for the weak foot. And of course, let's not forget the price. Yes, 1 million coins in fodder is acceptable, especially compared to Barcola's price. But are you willing to live with the lack of a 5 stars weak foot, no trickster, and no low-driven shot? If yes, you can go ahead and complete the SBC, because his strengths do outweigh the weaknesses. If no, then skip it and wait for something more suitable. Again, it's a great card, but for us personally, we don't see enough reason to complete it. Someone like Ribéry will eventually cover the cam or LM positions much better. Of course, that's still a long way off. Meanwhile, if you need a cam right now, take a look at Dries Mertens from the paid season. Of course, between Mertens and Doue, we'd choose the Frenchman. But for now, you can have fun with Mertens and wait for better SBC options. Gianfranco Zola also looks solid as a cam. We are waiting for an evolution that would give his younger version some passing playstyles. Still, even without it, he plays pretty well, especially as a shadow striker. Also, it's very helpful that this version has trickster and low-driven shot. By the way, we're currently using Salma Paraluelo at LM. Her body type feels amazing, although we're still waiting for the evolution of her 90 rated version that will grant her a 5 stars weak foot, finesse, and more. If you really want, you can complete Doue's Player of the Month version and wait for a strong evolution. Even now, you could boost his inform for around 150,000 to give him 3 playstyles, including finesse. But honestly, we don't see much value in that evolution, at least not for Doue. Overall, there will be a flood of new cards soon, many of which will be affordable but highly effective. Take Rayan Cherki for example. Let us know what you think about his card, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. We'll do our best to respond quickly. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next interesting reviews. We are giving Desiree Doue a 9.1 rating for the card quality and reminding you that full detailed ratings will be available tomorrow on our Twitter. For the SBC value, the card receives 8 points. Thanks for watching and see you in the next videos.